What is up? My name is Matthew Makak from Room 51, and this is Teach the Teach 101 on the Dice Tower, where I teach you general tips and tricks on how to teach board games. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to teach games that you yourself have never actually played before. Now, this is sort of like a part 2 to my last Teach the Teach 101 video about learning how to play the games you're about to teach. So, that kind of goes into what I'm talking about today, right? So there are a few different ways to go about this. Now, one, you could gather a group of friends who are totally willing to learn the game together, essentially, right? Where it's like, okay, yeah, I'm sort of the one who kind of is learning it. You could do it where you're learning it on the spot, right? There are some people who are really good at this. I've heard, I think Tom Vassell is good at this. I could be wrong. You just whip out the rule book, you kind of speed read it right there and then, and it's like, all right, so we're going to set it up like this, and then we're going to, this is how it works, and right? And you have to have a group of people, I think, that are really willing to go through with that, right? And we have that. I have that as a group where it's usually the three of us. It's me, my brother, and his girlfriend who will sit down and we'll kind of just learn the game together. And Justin's usually the one who does that because I myself am very about no, I have to know exactly how this game plays beforehand, and then I'll teach it to everybody. And that's how I function. But anyway, that is one way to do it, where you kind of have a group who is willing to learn together. Another way is the way I do it, where it's I try my absolute best to know how to play the game, right? Where I look at all the how to play videos. I might go through the rule book a couple times. Usually I'm watching the how to play videos a few times. I might solo play it, either multi-handed or the solo variant if it's close enough to how the multiplayer game works. And then I'll say hey, listen, I've never played this game before, but let's try. And then there's a lot of rules referencing going on during that first game. And they have to be kind of expecting that, I think. So again, it's a lot about the group you're playing with, in terms of they know that you don't know how to play this game either, really. You've never played it before, so we're all kind of learning it together as we go along, and teaching it to ourselves. So you have to have the right group for that. Another way to do it is you absolutely know how to play this game, right? Where it's okay, I have watched the how to play video about 10 different times, and I have looked at the rule book, and I've sort of mimicked things. Now, there are certain games where this is going to kind of have to happen. For one, an example that I'm thinking of is Forgotten Waters. And I actually did a Teach the Teach on that game, to help out without any spoilers, because I had to teach that game without ever having to play it for the first time to the group, right? Because we were all going to play the first scenario together. So there's some games that kind of require that, or Chronicles of Crime, things like that, where it's okay, I don't quite know, I've never played this before, so the teach isn't going to be perfect, but I'm going to get the rules down as much as I can. And I think for those kind of games, especially because Forgotten Waters is real time and all that, you don't want to really be referencing the rule book constantly. So you have to know at least what the real time aspect is to a T, right? In order to teach the game, right? And then during those downtimes, if there are sort of references and everything that have to be made, that's fine, right? You don't have to overwrought yourself, right? Or make it more daunting of a task than it really is. But again, you might want to play that first scenario or whatever it is with a group who's willing to kind of roll with the punches, and it's oh, we actually did this thing wrong, and they're not going to get mad at you for it, because, well, it was your first time playing as well. So those are my general tips and tricks for, teaching a board game that you have never yourself played before. I would definitely not teach games to newcomers to the hobby, games that you've never played before, because I think that you want to give them the best experience possible, right? You don't want to teach this to people. You don't want to teach in this way to people who are they're there for game night, and that they're not there to learn the game along with you. They just want to be taught it and play it, right? Like that's what they're there for. That's what the event is for, whatever it might be, right? So it's really helpful if you have a group of people who are your like test subjects, I would say. But if you don't have that, then making yourself your own test subject where like you're playing through it either solo with a solo variant that is very much like the multiplayer variant, well, the multiplayer version of the game, or you are playing it multi-handed, where like you're playing as all different players and you know it inside and out because you've done that a few times, right? And you feel confident, like, okay, I know this game, I could teach this game. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your tips and tricks down in the comments below. I would love to know how you go about teaching a game that you've never actually played before yourself. So anyway, I will catch you next time. Have a good one.